You know how this works, right?
Yeah.
All right. One, two. Wait, let me make sure the volume's up. Okay, and go. Nights, eternal laughter, sleepless nights. Eternal laughter, sleepless nights. Eternal laughter, sleepless nights. Eternal laughter. Now the greatest act of all. Here starts the final curtain call. From the basement to the rafters, join us in this great hereafter. You will I don't know the words to the song. I should have looked up the words. That would have been smart. But hello! Hi! And welcome to the season 2 premiere of Live from Muppet Land. Woo! And I am here with Madame Third Times the Charm herself, Princess Muppet, also known as Amy. Hello!
Hello, hello.
Welcome back.
Thank you for having me back. I'm the season 2 premiere. I'm so special.
Season 2 premiere, the first ever episode where we did our random format. You've got all.
Oh,
You've got all.
I know. I'm so honored.
Yes. You do still owe me $1,000, but that's a different. No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
Honor doesn't come cheap. We've got a lot about today,
oh yeah,
especially in the news. You're good for a while, right? Okay,
yeah.
good. I always forget to ask my guests how much time they have before we start recording. Oh,
You're like, I have you all day.
well, I don't know about that long, but the last episode we got 2 hours out of Labyrinth, so
Oh yeah, I saw
yeah.
that.
So anyway, it's been a while since I've last talked on this podcast. The last episode was in late August. It is mid October. It's been a
Mm-hmm.
hot second, and there's been a lot of news in those couple months. So I say we get straight to the news.
Yep, yep.
I love that stupid Sesame Street news theme. 7 items we have to get through.
Whew.
There's been a lot.
It's been
Been
a
a
lot. It's been
lot,
a busy, like the last 2 months have been busy.
and it's mostly positive stuff.
Yeah, which is a good
Yeah.
thing.
So let's start with the only thing that. Well, we'll talk about it. Our first news story is in early September. The Sesame Street off-Broadway musical opened.
Oh, I know. It looks so good.
So, breaking news, I've seen it.
Yes, I saw you post the picture.
I saw it. It was so I've talked to several people. I highly recommend reading the Tough Pigs review that Johannes and Matt Soberman did. Um,
Mhm.
it's I liked it more than they did.
Mm.
They kind of had a bit of a negative spin on it, and everybody else I've talked to has had negative spin on it. Um,
Mm.
I liked it. I thought it wasn't great.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. Towards the end of the show, I was getting really annoyed with all the little kids in the.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
it's listen. It's
That's a given.
this isn't like the time I went to see Chicago and there was a 5-year-old in the front row. Uh,
Oh my.
yeah, I don't
Oh.
know who's taking a kindergartner to go see Chicago.
That's a choice.
It's and the person who was playing Velma Kelly called it out and like literally broke character. It's like, why is there a 5-year-old in the audience? Like
Literally though.
in Chicago. That's a different. That was a weird night.
Oh man. I can't imagine.
Yeah. So, but there was plenty of 5-year, and they looked like they were having a ball. The little kids were really entertained.
That's so fun.
I was impressed by some of the puppetry. They do this one number. They do that Elmo's Got the Move song, which is kind of like a more modern song. You know
Mhm.
what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I get what you're the vibe.
Elmo's Got the Moves. Have you got the moves? And they do it with like puppeteers on a black background, draped in black, and it's just really well done. That one
Nice.
number. Um, the songs in this show are very weird. What songs they pick and what songs they don't do. Like
Interesting.
Elmo's song seems like it'd be a given, but
Yeah.
it's not. It's not in the show. Neither is Doing the Pigeon, which I think would also have been great.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
They did a lot of like Cookie Sang C is for Cookie. They did I Love Trash. They did Rubber Ducky. They did Fuzzy and Blue with only 2 people, which is a little odd. No Harry, and instead of Frazzle, it was a Yip Yip Martian.
Oh.
And they had a special guest in the show. Just some guy. The conceit. Originally, they announced there was actually going to be Broadway stars in this. I don't know what happened there. We could speculate, but I'd rather not.
Yeah.
So it's just like a guy, basically, who just wanders on stage and is like, "Can you show me where my seat is?" And they're like, "We're better than that. You're going to be in the show."
Oh, that's kind of cute.
And that's the plot. The plot is like getting that guy ready for his big debut.
That's cute.
But it's a lot more of less of a musical and more of like a cabaret, which I think is fine.
Yeah, that's kind of what I felt like it was going to be when they announced it. I had this weird vibe that that's what it was going to be. Well, not weird. That was a weird choice of words.
Yeah, no, it was great. There were some highlights. They did the Pinball 12 number count, which was quite interesting. And one of the things that I remember people saying about in different reviews and stuff is that the lip sync was a little off. See, I saw it. All those reviews are from like the first couple weeks.
Yeah.
And I saw it kind of it's kind of in the middle of its run now. And I saw it not that long ago. And I think they've just gotten better with more shows and more.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. You find your footing.
I think if you see this show on closing night, I think you're going to get a much better performance than if you did the first week.
Yeah.
If you're in New York and can get a cheap enough ticket, I'd recommend it, especially if you have little kids.
Oh, I'd love to see it. I don't think I'm going to New York anytime soon, but oh man.
It's a shame it's only because this is the type of thing I think would do really well during Christmas. And it's not
same.
and
Yeah.
it's closing like right after Thanksgiving. So like
after my birthday, how rude.
I saw it on my birthday, so
oh yeah, that's right, you did.
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
All right. Our second story involves a certain bit of Muppet mayhem.
Bum, bum, bum.
We've been gone so far. I've been gone so long. There has not been one, but 2 separate conventions that have happened with news about this show.
Very true.
We'll talk about D23 first because there was less that happened there. There really wasn't much. They released a promotional single, which was wild. And then they had a little performance at D23, and then they had did you see that panel they did at D23?
I did. Yes, I did with the Electro Mayhem.
Yes, with animal.
I was confusing it with the Christmas Carol one for a second. My brain was like, wait, but I watched them both.
Yeah, the Christmas Carol panel. Side note, not a lot of news there, but that was cute. That was really nice.
What a fun time!
What a fun time with the. They also mini news story in that they're going to be re-releasing Christmas Carol on Disney Plus with the Love Is Gone scene stitched back.
Yes, that's so exciting. I have it on DVD, so I've got that scene already, but that's cool that now more people will be able to watch it.
Yeah, plus it's just easier to stream something than pop a DVD in, so it's just
true.
Convenience. Yeah.
I'm loyal to DVDs though. I still love streaming, but I'm also I love my DVDs.
I was watching a DVD last night, not a Muppets Haunted Mansion. We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
So, yeah, D23, not much happened except for Animal chasing people around in the crowd, which I thought was great.
That was so adorable. Eric did such a good job there.
And then New York Comic Con was this weekend.
Yes.
I should have gone. I didn't. Speaking of Sesame Musical, they had a panel there where they were going over their creative process, which is interesting. And another thing we'll talk about later also had a panel there, but we'll talk about that later. But on Sunday, they had the Electric Mayhem panel. No Muppets appeared at the panel, which is
that was weird.
Yeah. It no, you go.
It it feels so like empty in a way because like people probably went expecting to see at least one Muppet and then there were no Muppets.
Yeah, and the weirdest thing was is that Bill was there, Bill Barrett,
Yeah, which was great.
which was great, and
His outfit was fabulous.
I
He
was
looked
gonna
fantastic.
the purple like sparkly suit. That man's got such style.
King of fashion, pop off.
But like none of the other Muppet performers were there, and I get it, they're busy, the set,
Yeah.
but like it's weird. And listen, I understand having Jeff Yorks and Adam Goldberg, who were the producers of this show. There, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
The fact that you had one Muppet performer and then the like practically the entire human cast of the show,
Mhm.
like nothing against the human actors. That's not the thing. But it's weird that they were kind of pushing the human actors
Yeah.
when this is a Muppet show. And listen, I like humans in Muppet projects. I love Doc and Fraggle Rock. I love Tim Curry and Muppet Treasure Island. I love like human actors can make or break a Muppet product.
But when you watch a Muppet product, you're like, "Where's the Muppets?"
Yeah, they did show a clip exclusive to Comic-Con. Um you can find descriptions on that clip online. I don't want to go too much detailed into it, it's for spoiler's sake. Um,
Mhm.
but no trailer, no public really released footage, no release date even.
I know.
I mean, we did get some more details. I think Tough Face is a good write up about it, and I think you can find other good write ups from other sources. Um, but really, nothing much, which is a shame because I thought this was going to be the big blowout with the trailer and stuff. But
Yeah, same.
I don't know when that blowout's going to come now.
Oh, I know. Now we're all just kind of like it's a waiting game now.
Because like D23, it's going to be no, okay, comic, no.
We're
So
like, "Hello."
I mean, I get it. They just wrapped back in August, but and it
Yeah, true.
takes time to like. I wasn't expecting it to be released anytime soon. I was just thinking like
Yeah, same.
even just a window, like spring 2020 or whatever.
Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't got like a little teaser trailer or something.
Yeah, like a 1 minute. But you know what?
Yeah.
These things take time. And one thing I'll talk about with the product we're going to be talking about later today is that they can't rush these things.
Mhm.
Sometimes when you do rush these things, I think you get a lesser product. But we'll talk about that later.
True.
Our third story. We're going back to the Blue House, everybody. Bear in the Big Blue House will be finally added to Disney Plus in just I think I've been following the countdowns. I think it's 6 day. It's next week. I know that.
I must confess something.
Oh, okay.
I was not a Bear in the Big Blue House kid.
And that's our episode of Live.
Well, that's not that I didn't like it. That's not what I'm saying. I just never watched it. Like as a kid, it would come on and I'd be like, okay, and I would like leave the room or I'd change the channel. And I look back now and I'm like, why? That was like right in my forte. I would have loved it.
I caught the tail end of its run. Like by the time I was watching that, because I'm a little younger than you. By the time I was watching like the Disney Junior, like it had already stopped airing new episodes. But
Yeah.
um, I remember it fondly when the little bit of time I did watch it.
Yeah, my best friend was one of like the kids who just like loved it growing up. And though, but it's kind of cool in a way because now when it's on Disney Plus, I'm going to be able to watch it with like fresh eyes, you
Yeah,
know?
I feel like Bear in the Big House ran for so long, but like it hasn't really been readily available. It's almost like lost media in a sort of way.
Yeah.
And so I'm really excited for the fandom to really like dive in and
I'm
eat it,
excited.
like,
Heck yeah.
chow down in this new buffet of Muppet content. Because it is
Exactly.
like, it's all these great performers we love, including Noah McNeil, who I want to shout out real quick, is currently trying to crowdfund his memoir.
Mhm.
And if that's exciting. I love books about Muppets. I love the Brian J. Holmes biography, um, and stuff. It would be great to get another book about Muppets.
You can never get enough fun facts about Muppets.
Speaking of books about Muppets, great segue.
Segue.
Our fourth story is the recent launch of the Sam and Friends book.
Yes.
Have you picked up a copy yet?
I have not picked up a copy yet. It's been a crazy month for me. I have not been able to really go anywhere.
No. I hope you're all right, but
I'm okay. Yeah, no. Just taking care of a family member.
good. I understand that. Um, yeah. So the Sam and Friends book launched, and I, living in New York, was lucky enough to go to the launch party they had at the Museum of the Moving Image.
My jealousy knows no bounds.
I'm, I'm going to quickly describe this event. Um,
You're killing me.
no, I don't. If you want me not to talk about it,
I'm just kidding. Go for it. Heck yes. Brag about it. I would.
it was honestly one of the best days of my life. Uh,
Aww.
it was because we all met up beforehand and we all went out to dinner afterwards, and it was just like so many cool people. First of all, the actual screening was great. With all the getting to see all this old Sam and Friends stuff, some of which has been linked online. I've seen it before, but some of
Yeah.
it I've never seen, and including the brand new, never before, well, brand new, but like you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
I was about to say the lost episode, but the whole series is lost. So excuse me. So they showed the episode that they recently had rediscovered, Miss Cone, which was completely animated. Um,
Oh, yeah.
like, well, I don't want to say too much because you can read all about it in the new Sam and Friends book by Craig Shipman.
Get that promo.
Get that promo. I'm not being paid. I have a copy already. Craig, there was kind enough. There was a book signing after the screening. My favorite part of the screening is actually they dug up the original audio to the last Sam and Friends episode and then kind of stitched it together with visuals,
Oh,
and
cool.
that was great. Um, my real so yeah, getting to meet some cool Muppet people was really the best part. Um, a couple shout outs to a couple people. Joe Hennis is such a nice man in real life. Um, we all know who Joe Hennis is, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. I got to meet Joe Hennis, which was great. Got to meet my buddy Richard Gomez, everybody's favorite little scamp here on Muppet Twitter, with his fan art. A couple other cool fan artists: Peter Salvieri, who's a great fan artist; Will Carroll, who's a great fan artist; uh, Matt Soberman, who's a writer for Tough Pigs. I got to meet him. I got to hang out with these guys. It was great. Shane Keating, who I've had on the podcast before, I got to meet him in person, which was great. And just a couple other people. Mel, I want to shout out Mel because Mel is currently running pre-orders for the Muppet fan zine Behind the Mayhem or Beyond the Mayhem. I forget what the name of it is, but it's currently a fanzine that's taking pre-orders. That's it's 40 plus different fan artists who've all done their own different interpretations of the Mayhem, and all the money goes to a charity, and I forget what charity it is, but it's a good charity.
That is so cool.
I've already pre-ordered my copy. I highly recommend you do. Again, I'm not getting paid to say any of this. I'm just saying it's a good product. Um, and so I got to meet Mel, which was great. I did not get to meet him, but Bob McGrath was there.
Mm.
Bob McGrath. I did not get to meet him at 90 years old.
Aw.
Such a sweet guy, taken around. There were plenty of people with puppets. And Emily Engel, who's been on this podcast, her Sam replica was there on display. I got to meet Craig Shepard, of course, because I got my book signed. I got to meet the cover artist, David Haltine, who's also a famous Muppet fan artist. I got to very briefly talk to Stephanie D'Abruzzo, very briefly. But I got to spend like 10 minutes talking to Heather Henson. And
Wow.
Heather has such a youthful, wild energy. It is great. She was so kind and sweet to me.
I am so jealous. What a special moment.
It was so great, and I highly recommend you read I keep plugging Tough Pigs. I highly recommend you read the Tough Pigs article if you
Well,
haven't,
heck yeah. Tough pigs are awesome.
because I forget who wrote that article, but they said something that really has struck a chord with me. They called it a family reunion, and it really did
Aw.
feel like a family reunion.
That's
And
so sweet.
it was great. Like I said, there were people with puppets. I forget their name, but somebody was cosplaying as Moki.
That's awesome.
It was great. It was great. And I guess we'll skip ahead so I can make a good segue. Speaking of Moki, Fraggle Rock's coming back, baby.
I thought like you were gonna play music there for a second. I was like, wait, what's he doing? What are you doing?
No. So originally we were just going to talk about how we're getting a Fraggle Rock holiday special next in like a month from now.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's exciting, right?
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah.
I figured we'd be I had this weird feeling we were gonna get like some Fraggle Rock news soon because it had been so long.
Well, also, so this holiday special was something that was kind of like not very under the wraps for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you follow rumors and speculation, there was always like they had ordered 14 episodes, but when it was released, we only ever got 13.
Yeah.
Like some description somewhere of the 14th holiday episode. So this was filmed back when they filmed the rest of the series, is what I believe happened. But
Yeah.
they were just holding it for release until, a more appropriate.
Holiday time.
But to some very, according to some rumors, we're getting a second season.
Yes, I heard about that.
That's not surprising. I'm excited. I'm glad it was successful enough.
Oh yeah, for sure. I honestly, after watching it, I was like, this is definitely going to get a second season, and everybody was just raving about it on Twitter, and I was like, oh yeah,
I'm
I,
just
no doubt.
I'm waiting till January for the Muppets because this Fraggle Rock thing is gonna sweep. I'm telling you. Um,
Man, that's coming up. Wow, you just saying that, I'm like, whoa.
yeah, I'm well. Side note, before we get to the rest of the news, I'm already planning stuff for the January. I mean,
We love it.
I'm already kind of making the form so I can kind of have everything ready to go. I plan on like launching it the day after Christmas, like the full campaign to start everything.
Heck
Uh,
yeah.
I'm trying. If anybody's listening, I'm trying to get fan artists to work on stuff. It's the digital art's not a problem. I'm going to commission that like probably next week, right?
Yeah.
But there's a piece of physical art I really want, and I can't find anybody to make it yet.
Aw.
Because I want to make, well, I'll just say it publicly. I want a physical trophy. Like
Mm.
one physical trophy. Not a whole bunch
Gotcha.
for everybody, but just like one physical trophy.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And I'm thinking like basically picture the Oscar statue, but with Kermit's head. And
That's awesome.
yeah, that's what I want. But anyway, speaking of things, great transition. Very
Smooth.
briefly, this next story. There's not a lot to say here. This was just a follow up to a rumor that I with a couple episodes ago. Yes, the Jim Henson Company will be indeed working on the animatronics for the Five Nights at Freddy movie.
That's crazy.
That's a sentence I just said that's completely factual and based in actual fact.
But then when I heard it, I was like, that makes so much sense.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, I can see them creating really awesome things for that.
oh,
I mean, I don't know anything about Five Nights at Freddy's other than that Stay Calm song is a bop. That's the one thing I know about that.
I don't. I watched. I never played the games, but I for some reason when I was like in middle school, I would watch videos about it, but I never played the games, so I don't know.
Okay, true. Yeah, I did like to watch videos of people I followed on YouTube playing the game because I liked to watch them scream.
Not even that. I would watch like the theory videos that like the game theorists would use to do.
Interesting, and yet you didn't play?
No, I don't.
That's funny.
I just liked that channel back in middle school. That
Ah,
I would watch anything they did. Um,
valid.
you know. So yeah, there's not much to say. And finally, bittersweet news tonight to close us out before we get to our main topics. Muppet writer Jim Lewis has announced his retirement.
Yeah.
Jim Lewis, if you don't know, for those listeners, he has been a Muppet writer ever since the '80s. He's done some like I'm going to pull up his Muppet wiki page, which I probably should have had up before this. Since we're talking about the guy, he's done all sorts of different projects, like actual writing credits, including. Hold on. Some of his actual writing credits for Muppet projects include everything from the Animal Show to Muppets Classic Theater to episodes of Muppets Tonight, Kermit Swamp Years, some Muppet video games, the Muppet Show live shows like the Take the Bowl in Hollywood, like Take the Bowl or Take the O2, Muppets Now, Muppets Haunted Mansion, all sorts of different Muppet projects. It's a Very Merry Muppet Christmas Movie, just all sorts of stuff throughout the years, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he's also kind of that guy who, like, whenever, let's say Miss Piggy was going to be, you know, interviewed for Vanity Fair, he is who would write that interview.
Yeah.
Or the Kermit self-help book that was written by Jim Lewis, like
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
stuff with like writing from the Muppets. I
He's
believe
done a
he
lot.
wrote the DVD commentary from Muppets from Space, like just a lot of different, like, weird. He wrote Kermit's acceptance speech for the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Like, that's the kind of stuff Jim Lewis would write.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, Jim Lewis is retiring. He's been working with the Muppets in some capacity since 1988 when he wrote the direct-to-video cassette, Hey, You're as Funny as Fozzie Bear. And so, yeah, Jim Lewis is retiring after a very long work. Again, I highly recommend you read his exit interview through toughpigs.com, the listeners, if you haven't. Any thoughts about Jim Lewis?
Just thank you for all the work you've done, man. Shout out to him.
Yeah, he's probably not listening, but if you do, sir,
You
kudos.
never know.
You never
You
know.
never know. He could find his way to this podcast someday. Have faith.
Faith. I also really quickly, kind of sad. Since the last time we talked, we've lost several Muppet-related celebrities that I just
Yeah.
mentioned. Coolio passed away very shockingly recently,
Yeah, I saw that. That was so sad.
and he, of course, was on Muppets Tonight. Great episode.
Mm-hmm.
And even sadder, my favorite Muppet Show episode of all time, Loretta Lynn.
Aw.
Listen in peace. And on top of that, somebody who had never worked with Muppets, but you could have sworn they did, Angela Lansbury passed away recently. And it
You
was,
know, yeah, you think she did, but she
she
didn't.
didn't, and I was so shocked to see that she had never done.
That would have been fantastic.
So before we get to our main story, I have to ask you a question I've asked all of my guests, except you've been here 3 times, so I can't ask you that question again. But
Oh gosh.
we'll just go with it. The biopic.
Yes.
Who plays you in the biopic?
Who plays me?
Yes.
Oh, there's gonna be a segment about me. Wow, I'm honored.
Yeah,
Oh man.
it shows somebody in the future being like, and Jim Henson has lasted his lasting impact on people who think he's hot.
Calling me out. Nah, I'm proud about it.
You call yourself out all the
I
time.
do call myself out. The man was hot. I'll fight anyone who says otherwise.
But who plays you?
Okay, now I'm hoping nobody finds their way to this podcast. I'm just kidding. Um, who plays me? Man, that's a good question. Oh, I was not prepared for this question at all.
We can come back to it.
Maybe, yeah, because I'd have to think about that.
I'll
Wow.
check in at the end of the podcast. So now, before we talk about our main subject, I want to quickly talk about what we're not talking about.
Yes.
So instead of doing a random poll, I just picked the only Muppet Halloween things I could think of.
Mm-hmm.
This is the closest episode to Halloween. You know, it's spooky month.
True, yeah. I'm very excited that I got to do the Halloween episode because I love Halloween.
I can actually hear crows outside. You might be able to hear them, and if I do, listeners, I apologize. So we are not watching Elmo Says Boo, which I only put on the list because I needed a 4th thing. We are not watching the best season 1 episode of the Muppet Show. Don't at me. No, I seriously think the Vincent Price episode is of season 1 of the Muppet Show. It is the best episode.
It is fantastic. I mean, it's Vincent Price. You can't go wrong.
It's great. I actually rewatched it last night because I was doing something and I threw it on, and it's delightful.
Yeah.
And we are also not watching the 3rd best episode of season 3 of the Muppet Show. Alice Cooper.
That episode was wild. I liked it.
It is. I mean, it's very wild. They're both very good episodes, and they used to sell them together on VHS back in the late 90s.
Yes, I remember that.
But Amy, what are we watching today?
Muppets Haunted Mansion.
Muppets Haunted Mansion. What a glorious 3-word sentence.
I know. Ugh, like two of my favorite things in the world coming together.
Okay, so I didn't talk to you about this before, but I assume you've ridden some version of the Haunted Mansion before.
I am a diehard Disney World, Disney Parks fanatic, and the Haunted Mansion is my favorite ride. So yes.
Okay, I'll take that as a yet. I've ridden the Haunted Mansion several times at Walt Disney
Mm-hmm.
World. I don't
Yep.
know if I'd go and say it's my favorite ride. It's definitely up there. I think it's a close call between it and Space Mountain.
I was just about to say, I always tell my mom my two favorite rides are like tied, Space Mountain and Haunted Mansion. So same.
So you gotta respect the classics. Uh,
Amen. One for the thrills and one for the aesthetic. That's what I always say.
yeah. So Muppets Haunted Mansion came out on October 8th of last year, which meant it was a birthday present to me. That was such a great thing. You
Heck
don't know
yeah.
how happy I was when they announced that it was releasing that day. Like,
Oh, I would have been like screaming if I was you.
oh, you think I wasn't?
Oh, no doubt, no doubt that you were screaming.
Hey, if you're a fan of spooky things and you're born in October, there's a decent chance you'll get some gifts.
Very true.
But anyway, yeah, I remember when this was announced and I was very excited, and then it released, and spoilers for the end. I think this is the best thing they've done in about 20 years.
I agree. I
I
agree.
listen. I like the 2011 movie. I like Most Wanted, and I like parts of the ABC series. But this just feels like the 90s Muppets at their best.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it reminds me so much of projects from the 90s, and we'll get into it, but like, it's just so good.
I was gonna say, yeah. I mean, I love the 2011 movie, so I don't like that's my second favorite Muppet movie. So I don't think anything could pass that other than the original. But like Haunted Mansion is definitely one of the best things they've done in years.
Yeah, I would have to go back to Muppets Tonight for something that I think is better than this. But that's just, my personal opinion. Um so yeah, let's get it started.
Heck yeah.
Why don't we get things started? So we start with Pepe. Well, we should talk about how this is Pepe and Gonzo together.
Yes, a dynamic duo.
A dynamic duo, and if they would have made this 5 years earlier, it wouldn't be Pepe and Gonzo. It would be
Yep.
Gonzo and the He Who Shall Not Be Named,
Aw.
who is technically in this special. If
Technically, for like 5 seconds.
yeah, I think he's the one who throws. It's Rizzo, for those of you who don't know who.
Yes. I'm like, we should probably let them in the know.
Yeah, I think he throws the coins with Gonzo's skull on it, which is such a thing.
I feel like if it had been made like 5 years ago, it could have been like a trio. It could have been all three of them.
Yeah, I guess my thing with that is that it might be hard because, like, I mean, what would Rizzo be doing though? Like, because you
True.
both be trying to marry Constance.
That would have been funny.
It would have. Yeah, actually, like, she's like, let's just, a polyamorous throuple. Why not?
We're like really like getting out there in this Muppet special, guys.
Why, why not? Love is
Why
blind,
not?
buddy. Anyway, so we open with them in the car with I I have to say I love the Halloween party. Let's talk about the Halloween party stuff.
Yes, it's so cute.
So cute. Do you have a favorite costume?
You know, I actually really adore Scooter dressed as Elvis.
You know what? This year, people have like a lot of people's profile pics this year for Halloween is Scooter as Elvis.
And I get that because like Elvis is like in right now because of the movie and everything. But there's something about Scooter who's
Funny.
usually like kind of awkward and like silly being like Elvis, you know?
Yeah, no, I think that's great. I love Fozzie just in the background dressed as a banana. It's
Oh yeah.
and the cactus with a Santa Claus hat for no reason.
Why not?
Why not? And I'm just looking at the list for anything else I wanna. Oh, Kermit is Piggy and Piggy is Kermit. I think
Of
we should.
course, yeah.
I can't believe we didn't mention that first.
I felt like we were heading that way.
Do you? It's cute. It's
I
cute.
think it's super cute. I'm a sucker for Kermit and Piggy, so I was eating it up.
I Kermiggy forever. That's who won the ship poll. So
Yep, yep.
and so Gonzo is talking to Kermit on the phone, and I don't think I've ever seen them like use a phone before, like
Yeah,
and
like FaceTime at least.
yeah, I mean they kind of do that in Muppets now, but like
Oh, that's true. I always forget about Muppets Now.
Muppets what?
Muppets Now, I always forget
What's
sometimes.
that? I've never heard of that. Uh but so Pepe and Gonzo in the car, and I love that little shot of Pepe just kind of like chilling out, and he's like talking to the he's not chilling, but like he's texting the girls, and they're like,
Yes.
fuck.
Full on
Yeah.
rejecting him, and he's like, eh.
Yeah. And so then we get um our first celebrity cameo,
Mm-hmm.
Muppet Fan Hall of Fame member Yvette Nicole Brown.
Yes, what a queen.
What a queen. She looks so happy to be there.
I know. And it's just so fun when you know how happy they are to be there, and you can just see it in their faces.
No, it's just it's really great to be there. Shout out to people listening to this live, by the way. Thank you for actually listening live.
Woohoo!
Fair. Anyway, um, and so you get that, and then they walk into the gates, and I love how Pepe thinks that it's a famous people's party.
Oh, I know.
He just like
Such a Pepe thing to think.
yeah, because like why would Gonzo be going to a famous people's party?
Exactly.
Like, of course, Gonzo's not lying about this being like a full like spooky mansion, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so then we get the scene with every single celebrity known to man.
Oh, my goodness, I know. It's just like so many
So
in
we'll go
that.
through them, but like, so first they go up and they see the grave digger or the caretaker, whatever you want to call him, who's played by Darren Chris.
I adore him. I
Okay,
love him so much.
because I
I
know
was
not
I was a Glee person, so that's my boy.
you were a Gleek that you no
Die
offense,
hard Gleek right here.
no offense, we can tell. Um,
What a call out.
no, listen, I've only seen the first season, but
I take it as a compliment. It's okay.
I don't. Glee's got issues, but it's fun sometimes.
Ah, there's that
Um,
famous quote from the show where they're like, "She may be difficult, but boy, can she sing."
my favorite quote from Glee is, "Aren't dolphins just gay sharks?"
Oh man.
It's fine. Anyway, we're getting off track. Darren Chris, I feel like was like really prevalent around this time. Like he was really trying to get himself out there for whatever reason.
Hmm.
This time last year, because I
Didn't he? Didn't he have a Christmas album come out last year?
yeah, the Christmas album was coming out, and he was also the host of that Queen sing along for ABC.
Yes, I remember watching that.
I only watched that because Piggy and Animal are in it.
I watched like the like artists I cared about because
Yeah, I watched.
I love Queen, but I'm like if I'm gonna listen to Queen, I want to listen to Queen
Yeah,
singing
that's
Queen.
how I feel with jukebox musicals.
Aw, I'm
Or
picky
or
with those. It's
or
50-50 for me.
yeah. Anyway, so he sings our first. We'll talk about Dancing in the Moonlight when we get to the credits.
Oh yeah,
Our first original song from this film, uh, "Rest in Peace." What do you think of "Rest in Peace"?
I think it's a cute song.
Yeah, my problem with is of the three original songs in this film, one of them I think is like one of the legit great Muppet songs.
Hmm.
And the other two I think are just okay. And this is I just think is okay.
I just my one complaint with this like part of Muppets Haunted Mansion, and this is like my one complaint. Like they only did Grin Grinning Ghosts for like a
Yeah.
second at the end of this song. and it bummed me out as like a Haunted Mansion super fan. I wanted like a big Grim Grinning Ghosts number, and I got it for like 5 seconds, and I was like, okay, that's kind of anticlimactic.
And we don't even get it with like Muppets outside of like
Yeah.
it's just Darren Criss and the Celebrity Jubilee over here.
Yeah, that's my one major complaint, really.
Yeah, I wish there was more Grim Getting Gross. The good thing is Darren Criss. I mean, he was on Glee. He is a good singer, so
Oh,
it's
for sure.
So let's talk about some of these celebrity cameos. First off, we've got Mr. Carlton himself, Alfonso Ribeira.
Not surprising, he pops up everywhere.
Uh, sad. This is one of the last on-screen appearances of Ed Asner, which is so.
No, I know.
I mean,
The little tribute for him in the credits is adorable.
yeah, the little tribute. Thankfully, he did. He didn't die too young. He did live quite a long life, which is always nice. But it's still a little sad.
Yeah.
But it was nice that they paid tribute to him at the credits. It's a shame he has no lines, though.
Yeah, that is a bummer.
Yeah, I mean, he was getting up there. Maybe he just couldn't for whatever reason, but who knows?
Yeah.
We have Kritzy Metz of This Is Us and Greatest Showman fame. Was she in The Greatest Showman, or am I making that up?
I was about to correct you. No, she was not.
I thought she played the bearded lady.
No.
I'm wrong. Okay. Well, anyway, she's from This Is Us. That's how I think most people know
Yes.
her. And she's playing the opera singer.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have. Do you know who Jenny Mai is?
No.
Neither do I.
Looking it up later.
Apparently, she was also on everybody's favorite Muppet production, Holy Moly. Did you watch any of that?
I'm not gonna lie, I keep forgetting to watch the Muppet parts of that.
It's not worth it. I watched the finale. You know what? I'm not gonna talk about it. Go listen to the Fraggle Rock episode I did with Shane Keating, because like we talked for 20 minutes about Holy Moly there.
I think I remember hearing that. I listened to it.
But anyway, then we have everybody's favorite Muppet person. He's gone triple header: Muppet movie, Muppet TV show, and Muppet special. Mr. Danny Trejo.
Triple threat.
Triple threat. Dancing, singing, and murder.
He's so great. That was
I
great.
love his line at the. I'm skipping ahead to the end scene. I love his line. Bring me some tacos.
Oh yeah.
Like what? I just love Danny Trejo. He seems to like really love the Muppets. Like he's in everything they do
Oh,
nowadays.
for sure. Another person that you can tell just has a ball working with them.
Yeah.
I saw him at a Comic-Con once and I regret not saying hi.
So Danny Trejo, and then SNL's just I'm gonna butcher this. Jashir Zatamata.
I was very excited to see her in this.
She's a funny comedian.
Yeah. Well, I'm a big SNL fan. That's my favorite show. So anytime I see an SNL person, I get excited, unless it's one that I just don't care about that much. But usually I'm excited to see them when they're in things.
No, she was. I mean, she doesn't get to do a lot in this. None of these people do.
Yeah, true.
Right. Speaking of people who get nothing to do, the singing bus.
Yeah, I was like, that was a choice.
And they look so like we know we see at the end that they were in the makeup chair. They did like actual stuff makeup that looks pretty okay with them.
Yeah.
But then the actual like thing we get to see in the main meat of the special.
They just sing for like a couple seconds.
Yeah, and they don't look the best.
Yeah, that was another thing that I was kind of like
Well,
about was I would have preferred the singing bus to just kind of look like they do on the ride.
yeah, we'll talk about this. My biggest issue with Muppets Haunted Mansion, honestly, is that it just the CGI and some of the visual effects just don't look very good.
Now that you say that, yeah.
I just because like rewatching it several times. Well, I watched it twice for this podcast, but like we'll get to it. But there's certain shots that I think just look very bad,
Yeah.
and that's nothing to do with like the Muppet performers or the direction or the writing or anything. It's just Well, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
So anyway, quickly going through these singing busts. We've got Sky Jackson, who was Do you know who that is?
I do actually.
She was on Jessie.
Yep. Hey, Jesse.
Now that was a show I watched a lot growing up.
I liked that show. It wasn't like my favorite Disney Channel show, but I liked it.
Then
I
we
was I was already kind of older by that point.
then we have deep cut and the least famous person in this, Jeff Keighley. Do you know who Jeff Keighley is?
No.
So Jeff Keighley is a video games journalist
Oh.
known for his annual. He is the creator of the Video Game Awards, which is basically like the Oscars or the Emmys for video games.
Oh. It's
And
all clicking in my head now.
and if you know anything about these awards, you know that pretty much almost every year a Muppet shows up to present something.
That's right.
The Swedish Chef has been there in the past, as has Bunsen and Beaker, Pepe. Summer Games Fest, which is another thing that he runs, has had both Alf and Miss Piggy on it. So just like he has a connection with the Muppets, basically. And so they've spent so many times on his show, he finally got to be on theirs.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's really cool then that they invited him
Yeah,
to do that.
that's definitely another super fan there. Then we have Pat Sajak looking like he doesn't want to be there.
Aw.
Then Justina Macchiato, who again I probably butchered that pronunciation. Now, do you know who she is?
Yes. Sorry, I like zoned out for a second.
She was on one of my favorite series, the One Day at a Time reboot, which is very funny if you've never seen.
I don't know if I have. I guess I haven't.
And finally, we have Craig Robinson, probably best known for his role on The Office.
Ah, yes.
And Pizza Hut commercials currently. Right? That's him, right?
If I'm remembering correctly, yeah, I don't really watch commercials much anymore. I just kind of zone out when they're on.
Yeah. And so then Pepe's like, oh, that was a great show. And it was. And then we finally get to go into the mansion itself and we meet our ghost host.
Ah, yes.
Played by BoJack Horseman himself. Lego Batman himself.
Oh my gosh, that's right. He was Lego Batman.
Yes, Will Arnett, who's just kind of in a lot of different things. I'm trying to think if he's worked with the Muppets before this.
He is in a lot of different things.
Yes, he was he actually played funny enough, he played a magician on Sesame Street.
Oh man, he's got a reoccurring theme here, I see.
Yep, back in season 39, which was, oh god, 13 years ago.
Whew.
Because they're up to 53 now.
True.
Or they're about to be up to 53. What do you think of Will Arnett in this special as a whole?
I think he does a really good job in it. I think making a new character, the ghost host, was an interesting choice. I still don't know how I feel about that. Maybe it's because I'm so attached to the ride itself, but like I say, overall, he does a very good job, and I enjoy his performance in this.
No, I enjoy Will Arnett as a whole as well. I also enjoy the two new characters who do the Dunt-Duns, Mummy and Duddy, played by, I believe, I want to say Mummy and Duddy are, oh god, Alice Dinian and Bruce Lanoy, I believe. I think that's who plays them, but anyway.
They're so cute.
Very cute. Great running gag. I don't really think they can come back and do anything else.
Yeah, probably not. Unless it's another Halloween special or something.
There is another character who shows up for the first time here who I think we will see again. We'll get to that later. Oh, briefly. So then, so Will Arnett goes through this big speech about the rules. Basically, you've got to stay the night and face your fears, yada, yada. And so then they go into the stretching room and we start to see they write this off as, oh, the ghosts are reacting to your sympathetic vibes to kind of make all the Haunted Mansion stuff look like Muppet stuff.
Yeah.
And the stretching portraits looks great. I would love to know who they got to do them.
Oh, I know. I loved the way they did those.
The thing I remember leading up to the release of this, because this is still pretty fresh in my mind, when at Disney World they were releasing chocolate eclairs with with the Muppet stretching portraits on them.
Oh my goodness. Yes, now that you say that, that's like coming back to me. I remember that.
Oh, which is just so funny, so funny. Um, and so they do all this, and the stretching room. How do you get out? Yeah, like the ride. And then we get the character who I think will come back. That stupid screaming goat. That guy. Because like you
That
can do that whenever. Like you don't.
yeah. That has to be in reference to that screaming goat video that always goes viral.
Oh yeah, it's screaming goats are a meme now. It's just like it's in the cycle with the Rick rolls and the
Man, those have been around since, like I remember the screaming goat, people like showing me the screaming goat in high school, and that was a long time ago.
yeah. Screaming goats like that's like a 2013 thing.
Yep, high school. I was in high
Hmm.
school. Ugh.
When I
Flashbacks.
was 10 years old.
Whew.
Oof, yeah. Um. Anyway, so yeah, screaming goats, lots of fun, and so then we get they're walking around, and we get all those little nice little scares. I like the plant monster with the eyeball, very
Yeah.
fun there. Um, this is kind of funny. So you know how they have that hallway knight
Hmm.
that kind of swings around and chops.
Yes.
I want to talk about that guy for a second, because at the end you see him sands the helmet with in the dancing scene at the end. That is not a celebrity. That is a professional stuntman named Quinn McPherson,
Mm.
who has done a couple different stunt work for all sorts of different stuff, from the Rescue Rangers movie to Star Wars. But I'm bringing him up because he's recently was the stunt double for Harry Styles in Don't Worry, Darling.
Stop it right now. Don't get me started on Harry Styles. I'll stop.
No,
Anyways,
I knew you loved Harry Styles, so I knew I once I found that out, I knew I had to bring it into the conversation somehow.
that's the love of my life.
So anyway, they get out. So Pepe gets scared, and then he finally finds the famous people's room,
Ah, yes.
and it's just John Stamos.
Which is so funny.
It's that is my favorite cameo of this whole thing.
Oh, of course. Heck yeah.
It's hysterical. John Stamos is just there.
I know. He's just chilling in the mansion.
And I don't know if you've noticed this, but in the credits they list him as famous person. Like that's his
I think I
role.
did see that, yeah.
It's very
I
funny.
remember that.
And it's just a really great interaction. And then I love the way they end that scene with him transforming into the Muppet monster.
Oh, yeah. To scare Pepe, yeah.
Here, and I feel like if I was a little kid, that would generally scare me.
Yeah, I liked that this movie, it is like it's for all ages, but at the same time, they didn't hold back too much with the jump scares.
Yeah, I feel like you know what it reminded me a lot of. I don't know if you've ever seen this, but it reminded me a lot of like the Large Marge scare from Pee Wee's Big Adventure.
Ah, no, I've never seen that.
Good film, good film. I recommend it. Um, anyhow, so Pepe is now running around. I love how he says with all the smokes and mirror and the animatronics.
Oh, I love that line.
Like he knows.
We love a shout out to animatronics.
Ooh, or animaltronics, I think he said.
Oh, true, true.
So he runs off, and eventually this leads to them getting chased by the Sweetums food train, which is who doesn't love Sweetums, right?
I know, right? Just want to give him a big hug.
Then we get a random return of At the Dance. Oh wait, no, I skipped the Madame Pagoda stuff. Hold on,
Backtrack.
backtrack to Madame Pagoda. What did you think of Madame Pagoda?
I thought that was like such a genius choice to make her. the Madame Leota character. I'm sad she didn't have like a bigger role
Yeah.
because I love Piggy. She's my all-time favorite Muppet.
Yeah, a lot of the like iconic Muppets don't really get to do much here. Like it's a very Gonzo centric story,
Which I love.
which I love, and like Kermit barely gets anything to do here too, which
Yeah.
it's it's weird, especially since our next Muppet project is a very non main character story.
Yeah.
You know, with Muppets Mayhem, we're not really going to get Kermit or Piggy. You know, who knows if they'll even be in the show, right?
Yeah, true. It is nice to see these other Muppets get their stories developed a little bit more, though.
No, I'm glad we basically got a Gonzo solo movie.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Gonzo definitely deserves it.
Even
Dave
though
deserves it.
even though we already got that back in '99, and you and I covered it a couple episodes ago.
Very true. Very true.
But back. So anyway, so they leave. I love Bubba the Rat.
He's so cute.
Bill is just let Bill use his original characters more. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
That's the other thing I love about this, because they bring back, and some of them are just in the background and don't really talk, but they bring back so many '90s Muppets here.
Yes, I was telling my mom about that when we were watching it.
We see. Oh, I watched this with my mom too.
Oh, yay!
They bring back Bubba the Rat. They bring back Howard Tubman of all characters. He doesn't get to speak, but Dr. Phil Van Neuter is in a couple scenes.
Yeah.
Mulch, who is technically an '80s Muppet, but I always think of him as a '90s Muppet. And then we'll get to the best one later.
Oh, of course.
You know who we'll talk about later.
I see where we're going with that.
But that's not. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. So now we get to. They leave Madame Bigoda, and Sweetums runs into them, and then we get a sudden return of At the Dance.
I know. My mom loves that part because that's like one of her favorite Muppet Show segments.
It is. It's literally just At the Dance. Like
it is, yeah.
It's so great. I love Howard Tubman dancing with Beverly Plume. That is such like a weird, and it's good to see Wayne and Wanda.
Yes.
And all the classic Muppet Show ghosts running around, and then we get Kermit the frog. I forget what they call him in this. The Mansion Show host.
Oh yeah.
Who is he's doing his little old Muppet Show stick. Instead of yay, he goes boo.
Yeah.
Gauzy the Hatbox Ghost.
Gauzy.
Ghost from Haunted Mansion.
Yes.
I like this. Why does he have teeth? Like, we didn't need teeth.
I get that they were like trying to go for like the Hatbox Ghost vibe, but at the same time, seeing Fozzie with teeth is a little unsettling.
And then we get what I think is legitimately one of the best songs they've ever done.
Such a fun number.
Welcome to the life hereafter, sleepless nights, eternal
laughter.
It's the one thing I don't like about it is all the weird references to Be Our Guest. have you caught on that?
Honestly, like now that you're saying it, I'm like thinking about it.
Like it's course by course and one by one until you shout your life is done, and follow the floating can. He's not French and he can't croon. We did that in a Beastly cartoon. It was a beauty.
Oh my goodness.
Like if you listen to the lyrics, it's all Beauty and the Beast references. And
you're right.
Or Be Our Guest. Like they even start the song with sit back, relax, and let the dining room proudly present your funeral.
True. Yes, I caught on to that one.
But like there's just, or like Fozzie Bobo and Crazy Harry say, he tells jokes, I do tricks with my deadly candlesticks.
Oh man.
It's Be Our Guest.
It really is, yeah.
Also, towards the end, it just becomes the Muppet Show theme, but I'm not complaining about that.
Heck yeah.
But it's a great song, and I listen to it a lot in like my Muppet playlist I have. And I always forget how much Will Arnett is in it, because on the soundtrack he just sounds like a Muppet.
True.
Will Arnett has a Muppety voice, and I don't mean that as a insult.
You're not wrong.
Anywho, so after we get that song, this is where I think the special kind of gets to drag a little bit, if I'm being completely honest. Like, it's not that I dislike everything that happens after here, I just don't like it as much.
Yeah, I get you. It kind of slows down a bit.
Hold on, stall for 2 seconds. My earrings.
Uh-oh.
Stall, do something.
Okay, well, I'll mention in the song before we move on, I love the part where the Doom buggy stop and they have the like moment where they're like, oh, just stay in your Doom buggy, like when the ride shuts down at Disney.
Yeah, that's very funny. Give me another second. I don't want to. I gotta put the backing back on now.
Oh no. Oh man. Hey folks, how you doing? How you doing out there, listeners?
The whole ear fell off, and then the back fell into the couch cushions, and I had to search through the couch cushions.
Oh no.
We're good though.
Okay. We're back on track.
Then we get our. Oh, we completely skipped over Kim Irvine.
Oh.
Just shout out to her real quick. But anyway, then we get our final human star, Taraji P. Henson as Constance Hatchaway.
Mm-hmm.
Taraji P. Henson, best known for
she's in a lot.
Yeah, I don't even know what to pick.
Hidden Figures is the one I always think of first.
Yes. I had to watch that movie in math class in high school.
It's such a good movie.
Yeah, but I had to watch it for 2 years in a row in math class.
Oh.
But yeah, do you like Taraji P. Henson in this particular film?
I actually do. Like, because, that role, like Constance, it's like very specific, and she's like one of the most known characters in Haunted Mansion. So thinking about anyone playing her, I'm like, can they do it? Can they do it? Can they like live up to my expectations for it? But she made it so fun, and I was like on board.
I think my issue with this special in the second half is that I care about the Pepe stuff more than I do the Gonzo stuff. Like we're all unpack it, but I think it's easier if we just talk about what happens with Pepe and then go back to Gonzo because they keep cutting back and forth between them.
That's very true.
So let's just talk about the Pepe stuff first, and then we'll get to Gonzo.
Yeah,
once
good
we're
plan.
done. So the husbands.
The husbands.
There's a couple good ones there. I like Walter. I'm glad they're trying to figure out where Walter can fit into the Muppets.
He looks so cute in that part with the little hat on.
Oh, I keep real quick going back. I keep jumping around. The costuming here is so great.
Oh yeah.
All the Muppets for the most part are in different costumes to kind of differentiate themselves from their normal counterparts.
Yeah.
I love how Gonzo's in his classic Muppet Show red tuxedo. Both Robin and the Electric Mayhem are in their Muppet Christmas Carol wardrobes. And my favorite of all, Statler and Waldorf are in their Muppet Vision outfits.
Yes.
I guess it's because it's a Disney World thing, but like
that's so smart though.
That's such a good detail. Like I
know
so much.
And as someone whose favorite Muppet thing is Muppet Vision 3D, that feeds my soul.
I love Muppet Vision so much. Bless you. Sorry, somebody sneezed. But anyway, okay, so we have Walter, we have the Penguin, we have Bobo, we have Beauregard, we have New Zealand, and that's it. That's all the husbands she has. Except you say it.
No, don't make me do
it. Johnny B. Alma and Sal.
I was like, don't make me do it. Don't make me do it. I'll cry.
It's been so long.
I know.
And the greatest cameo in this whole thing is they got Brian Henson back.
I know.
Yeah.
Like when I read about that, I was like, "Are you serious?" Like I was so excited.
Like he doesn't do any other character. He's not Phil or any random background. He's just here to do Salmonella.
That made me so happy.
Oh, it's so good to see Johnny and Sal.
I know.
They are my favorite thing about 90s Muppet stuff.
Such a great duo, and they're so funny.
And I'm glad Brian Henson is on good enough terms with the Disney company to come back and do stuff.
Yes, same.
And that gives me hope for future Muppet projects in the future.
Yep, amen. Same here.
It's just so good to see them. What do you think about the song she sings?
I actually like it. I know you said that you think the other two are just okay, but I just think it's so silly with the whole like tango vibe, and I'm just like, I dig it. But I like silly songs like that.
I'll be honest, with the first couple times I heard it, I really didn't like it, but as I was rewatching the show for this, I grew to like it more than I did. I think I like it over the Rest in Peace song, if I'm being honest now.
hmm
And
The
I,
the rest in peace one's a little all over the place.
yeah.
I love Darren, but it is a little all over the
And
place.
and no offense, Darren Chris is a better singer than Taraji P. Henson.
Well, yeah, obviously.
But I do kind of like the song. I don't get why Pepe is like getting drunk. Um,
Yeah, I guess it's so that I took it as like she's like trying to get him to like be so drunk in love, kind of quote unquote. I guess that's the pun
yeah,
they're going for there.
I don't like
And
the visual effects whenever she says King Prom. The screen gets all weird.
mm,
Don't get the spiders and the grapes.
yeah, the
And
spiders was a little weird.
yeah, there's just some stuff in this part that doesn't isn't clear.
Where you're like, I have questions.
This is the point where you can tell this was supposed to be an hour and a half movie that got cut down to a 45-minute special.
Aw.
Because if you read interviews, this was going to be a movie, like a full length
Yeah.
film at one point, but they ended up cutting it back.
Yeah.
And I feel like if we had more time, we would have been able, you know,
To do more with that.
yeah. And probably we would have seen more. Probably would have gotten more stuff with Ghost, and we probably would have gotten more of the Muppet Party, I assume.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
But anyway, so then we, again, skipping around, we get to Uncle Deadly as the minister, which is just perfect.
I love Uncle Deadly so much.
It's it's a no notes. Okay, now let's rewind the time. Uh, Gonzo is. This is where it starts to fall apart. I don't. This Gonzo. So he gets to room 999, which is actually room 666. Surprise, surprise.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun.
Dun dun.
Oh, sorry, it's their first day on the job. And so he gets to room 666, and his greatest fear not is like losing his friends, which is like only a situation he got in because he went to the hotel, or
Yeah.
like or like being alone, and like he had like there was no real hints of this except for really briefly at the beginning.
Yeah.
And so like I just I don't know. There's just something about it that doesn't sit right with me. My least favorite thing is that it's so choppily split up
Yeah.
between that and the Rizzo. Oh, sorry, Rizzo, God, that and the Pepe stuff.
You know, I agree. I think it is choppy with the whole like going back and forth stuff. And I do think, like you said, if it had been a longer special, they could have developed the Gonzo stuff more. I see what they were going for though.
Yeah,
I don't really have a problem with it because I just inferred it as like, oh, he's spending so much time trying to prove himself as like a daredevil and being, the great Gonzo that he's realizing, oh, but like, I don't need to do that for my friends to love me kind of thing. So I caught on to that, but I also agree with you that it does feel a little off.
yeah. It's also the only time we're ever gonna get Muppets Tonight footage on Disney Plus. If you notice in some of the flashback bubbles, there's a clip of Muppets Tonight, which is odd to say the least.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Um, the one thing I do really like about this scene is the decrepit old Gonzo puppet. That is really well done.
It was a really well done puppet.
There's two of them.
Yeah.
Because like the one he talks to is less decrepit than his final like decrepit form.
Yeah. I
So
noticed that.
it's just very interesting to me.
Yeah.
And so I think now is a good time to. So he faces his fear, and then he runs through. MacGuffin tells him he can go, but he runs to go get Pepe. And I do like the Andy and Randy as the shining things. Let's. But I think now is a good time to talk about the bad visual effects in this special.
Mm.
And you gotta realize this thing, they filmed this in April. It was released in October.
Yeah.
That's a rough turnaround. Like a really rough turnaround.
Yeah.
And a very quick turnaround.
Mm-hmm.
And there's several shots where it just really looks. There's not a lot of practical set. It's a lot of digital set. They do the similar type of thing that they do on The Mandalorian, where like a lot of it's not actually. You're not. It's screens. They're not actually there.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And the shots of Gonzo running through the hallway just looked really bad, in
Mm.
my opinion. Right.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
And the one shot I really don't like is in the beginning when Gonzo and Pepe are walking towards the mansion. It looks really rough.
Mm.
And listen, it's nobody's fault. The artist just needed more time that they weren't given.
Yeah.
If anything, this is the fault of the Walt Disney Company. So, but I do need to say that is my biggest negative of this special is that it just doesn't look that great.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I agree with you on that. Normally, I can look past things like that in a Muppet movie because Muppet movies are already so goofy that I'm just kind of like, oh, well, not the greatest effects, whatever. But I get what you're saying, though. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, then Gonzo's running up the stairs to go to save him, and he gets swallowed by a monster and spit out by a monster,
Yeah,
and then
that was a choice.
why? There's no monster like that in the Haunted Mansion. Like
That's what
that,
I said. I was like, that was a choice. Like, what was the point? Just for dramatic effect, I guess.
like okay. And so then he saves Pepe and he gets in a little thrall with I can't talk. You know what happens. He jumps through and running, and Darren Chris's character had made graves for them.
That was funny.
And I love Pepe's prawn but not forgotten. So they're running, and then MacGuffin's like, "You guys can go," and then he reveals himself to be the Great MacGuffin.
Yeah.
And the detail I love is that this is like Gonzo's idol, who he took the Great Gonzo from. Like he's trying to
Hmm.
be like this guy. I love how MacGuffin's suit is Gonzo's suit, and how
Yes, I think that was a very, very cute
like
detail.
I also love Pee Wee the red herring. We could have gotten a little more Pee Wee. I wouldn't have complained.
Aw.
And then Yvette Nicole Brown comes back to pick them up, and we get what I think is the worst visual effect in this whole special: the hitchhiking ghost at the end.
They do look a little cartoony.
Yeah, they look like they took the models from the ride from like 2003.
Aw.
It would have been cool if they would have had the time to build puppets for them.
That would have been cute.
But also, puppets are expensive, and when are you ever going to be able to use these again?
True.
So it is what it is. And then we get. Hold on. And then, so Yvette Nicole Brown picks them up, and I'm just double checking something before I say something wrong.
I was gonna say too, before we segue into the credits and everything, I love the tribute on the gate, the entrance, the gateway of
Oh yeah,
Jim's birthday.
I can't believe I didn't mention that. I can't believe I didn't mention that.
Don't worry, I'll never forget a tribute to Jim.
Never,
I got you.
never forget a tribute to Jim.
Haha.
Do. I don't know why I just did the Brady Bunch, dude. Uh, and then we get to, yep. Then we get to the 2021 Muppet Twitter Award winner for Best Song,
Heck yes.
which I was double checking to make sure that it actually won that, and I didn't make it up. I pull up the old doc. Um, Dancing in the Moonlight.
Oh my gosh, what an absolute bop.
Dancing in the moonlight, everybody. I was debating whether to play that or Life Hereafter in the beginning, and I hope I made the right decision.
Yeah, I was wondering like what song you were gonna pick for the opening before we started.
Yeah, it was hard to choose.
Yeah.
It's just a really good cover of Dancing in the Moonlight, and it makes me
Such a good cover, and I love the bloopers and the like dancing they're all doing as the credits roll.
oh, it's great, and it just makes me excited for the most likely Electric Mayhem album we'll get with the show next year,
Yes.
which is probably gonna happen.
Oh,
Let's
for sure.
and it's a very good cover of Dancing in the Moonlight. It's very fun. I
I'd
don't know.
forgotten that song existed until last year when this came out, and I was like, oh, that song, I remember that now all of a sudden.
See, I know that song from the cinematic masterpiece, The Hitman's Bodyguard, which is that's a movie for a different day.
It's a movie.
And that was Muppets Haunted Mansion.
Woo! Happy Halloween.
Woo! So overall, you what are your overall thoughts?
I love it. Like truly, I think like we said at the beginning, it is one of the best things they have done in years, and I think it's a step in the right direction for the Muppets and the future, of the Muppets.
Yeah, I think it's a very good step in the right direction. Now, time to rate this on a scale of zero point 0.5 to 5 termits. Zero point 0.5 termits being something utterly disgusting in the Muppet community, like Chip the IT guy, and 5 out of
Poor Jim.
I finally figured out what to have as 0.5. It took me a while, but I think Chip works.
I actually don't mind Chip.
And of course, 5 out of 5 Kermits is something universally beloved, like the concept of Frank Oz. What would you give Muppets Haunted Mansion?
4.5.
I'm going to go the same. 4.5.
There's just little minor like complaints I have, which is why it's not 5.
Yeah. I think this is the second best thing I've covered on this podcast behind Labyrinth.
I was so jealous when I saw you were talking about Labyrinth. I was like, oh, I want to talk about Labyrinth.
I joked in that episode. I should start a new podcast called the Labyrinth Podcast, where just every episode is a different person talking about Labyrinth.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Uh, um, yeah. So that's pretty much it. Now going back to earlier, who plays you in a biopic?
Okay, I was thinking while we were talking, and I probably would want more time. Like, I have an answer, but I would probably want more time to think of like multiple people and then like pick one.
Of course.
Um, and maybe like this isn't like I don't know. I don't because I've always said if someone was going to play me in a movie, I would want someone who like kind of resembles like my body type. Like I wouldn't want someone super like skinny playing me. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I am a little more on the curvy side. So I was thinking maybe like someone like Demi Lovato,
Ooh,
maybe.
I like that.
Because if you give her like a brown hair wig like mine and glasses, she could totally pull off playing me.
Perfect. That's who plays you at the end credit scene of Muppet Man. Liking thirst tweets of Jim Henson on
Oh,
Twitter.
the Jim biopic, yeah.
Yeah. Um, I don't know. For me, get Jared Faircloth to do it. Anyway, and you got anything to plug?
Oh man, at the moment, I don't really have much going on because like I said, it's been such a busy month for me. Just everybody vote for me in the Muppet Twitter Awards coming in January.
Well, you won't be eligible for best account under 1,000 followers
I
anymore.
know she's too big now.
Too big. We should have a best accounts that used to be eligible for best accounts.
Thank you. I just am like everybody vote for me because I at least want to win one this year.
You might. Who knows what category? Because there's going to be new categories this year.
Ooh, exciting.
I don't want to announce any of them because there's been several categories where I have the form, like I'm creating the form months in advance, right? And
Yeah.
I'll like put it in the nomination form and then I'll think about it and then I'll take it off. Like at one point I had best merchandise as a category and then I was like, that's a little too like self-indulgent.
Yeah.
Like here's best thing you spent money on. Like, no.
You could do favorite like viral tweet. I could be running for that.
I tried best tweet last year, but nobody nominated anything for it.
Oh,
It was too
interesting.
specific. Another category that I thought about doing, but I took out was I was gonna do a technical category for the podcast,
Oh.
like best podcast editing, but I was like, that's too specific. That's we'll see. Maybe they'll get added back, but I doubt it.
We'll see. We'll see.
But tell people to follow you on Twitter and where they can.
Yes, everybody, follow me at Princess Muppet.
Yeah.
Join me and watch me thirst tweet about Jim.
You can follow me here right on at Muppet. No, I also have an Instagram account that I never touch. Go back and if you get a chance to listen to some of the previous episodes of this podcast, the Labyrinth episode should be on YouTube within the next week or so, or well, probably later today. This episode should be on YouTube by January of next year. Yeah, I hope to have an episode around Thanksgiving. If not, well, see you around Christmas time. Who knows? Thank you, everybody. Woo!
Thank you. Thank you for having me back.
And now, play that Jim Henson Hour theme.